Investigators from more than 70 agencies are still going through the blast zone in the town of West. So far, they have not determined the cause, but they have ruled out the possibility that a rail car caused the blast. They say the explosion left a crater 10 feet deep and 93 feet wide. There are no more victims. All of the homes in that area have been searched, but people who live closest to the blast site still cannot go back home. Investigators say it is still not safe. More heroic stories coming out of West this evening in the aftermath of that explosion. And KXAN's Josh Hinkle joining us live from the scene with more.
If it gets a little loud during this live shot, Robert, it's because we're hearing a lot of sounds of recovery around here. This is the closest we've been able to get to the actual blast site so far. You can see all the homes in this area have the okay, but on down this way, the roadblocks are still in effect. It means you can't go past that point, but we did obtain exclusive footage of what it looks like beyond this place, over closest to this destruction. Also met a couple who has a very captivating story of rescue.
You had wires hanging down. There were light fixtures, some that were still hanging. There was no ceiling. You could hear water leaking in already. You could hear the screams from patients trying to get out.
When so many people were running away from the explosion, this couple, Billy and Steffanie Burch, went straight toward it. Both were in the military once and put their search and rescue training to good use at a nursing home near the blast site. Together, they pulled out 16 elderly patients before emergency crews arrived.
And so for the people that have lost loved ones, I wouldn't want to be in their shoes right now. I would hate to think that my son was there when that happened, because he would have been one of the ones that might be unaccounted for or deceased. And that would have been one of the hardest things I've ever faced in my life, is to lose one of my children.
And that couple actually lost its house before in a fire. Their house right now did not get hurt, but they do know what the community is going through. They say the only advice they have hope. Josh Hinkle, KXAN News.
Josh, thanks. It could be weeks before many people in West have running water in their homes and businesses. The shock of the blast damaged the water system there, and right now the entire town is on a boil water notice. Today, our KXAN crew stopped by the Village Bakery, which is still open for business in West. But that restaurant is using styrofoam plates and cups so they can avoid washing dishes.
We use bottled water to make our coffee, and the buckets of water we've been heating to be able to wash the dishes. And so yeah, it's kind of frustrating and confusing.
More than 300 homes in West have water problems tonight. We'd like to remind you that KXAN is working with H-E-B stores to help the town of West. You can make donations to the American Red Cross Disaster Relief Fund at all Austin area H-E-Bs when you check out at the register. You can find in-depth information on our website about the explosion, including a timeline of what happened and a photo gallery of the people from West returning to their homes.